Welcome to Eco Solutions. My name is Nicole Amolo, and every day we hear this term, climate change. I'm curious to understand it and what I can do to foster positive impact against our planet's greatest threat. Climate change is the crisis of our time. It is caused by excessive levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, mostly due to human activities. We have been burning more and more fossil fuels such as oil and coal to power our homes, factories, and modes of transport. All these release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Other greenhouse gases include methane, ozone, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons known as CFCs, and water vapor. These gases trap heat from the sun, causing the earth to get warmer, and this is happening at a rapid rate. If we do not slow it down, it could mean a catastrophe, and we are already getting a taste. Join me and let's explore innovative nature-based actions towards mitigating this challenge. Fast fashion is the mass production of high fashion designs at a low cost and bringing them to retail quickly while demand is at its highest. We access them from local fashion stores and as second-hand clothing.
Lakini ukiangalia zile vitu unapata hapo ndani kwa sababu kuna dead stock also. Utakuja kutoa nguo zingine zile hauwezi uza. The fashion industry overall is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. Clothing releases methane in landfills, a powerful greenhouse gas. Manufacturing of synthetic clothing consumes a lot of fresh water, which is often released back into the environment, containing large amounts of hazardous chemicals used during the dyeing and treating processes. When washed, synthetic materials release microplastics into the water, and once they have been tossed out, they can take hundreds of years to decompose, continuing to release greenhouse gases. In this episode, we introduce a visionary who not just sees fashion as a sense of style, but as a voice for sustainability. Through her bold yet elegant designs, she champions environmental causes and pursues a greener future.
My name is Deepa, and I'm the creative director of the fashion brand Dosaja. We're a conscious fashion brand, and we design clothes that are friendly on the environment and the people who make them and wear them. And I'm very, very happy to show you around the studio. Hi, Stella.
Hi.
So what we're doing here is we're designing the dress that we're about to cut. Stella and I will collaborate on it, and then it'll be cut at the next station. So Stella, what do you think? I think the trees should come all the way up, right? We'll add some elements of brown for the trunk, and then we can incorporate some butterflies. And the butterflies should be quite bright. Different elements of pink, different shades to give it some brightness. And then we can do the fashion in hot pink, using our remnants.
And then it will fall.
Yeah, we always add elements of nature, because as an environmental company, we get a lot of inspiration from birds, leaves, butterflies, and that's our inspiration. We'll put a bee in it, we'll put a beehive, we'll make it very natural, using natural fabrics, natural elements, as I'll show you. I'll first show you how we cut it. How about we go over there. Now here I've come to Peter, who's our cutter. And what we do is we try and save as much fabric as possible. For instance, we can use our little cut-offs to make bands. We can use our little cut-offs to make fronts of things. So we just try and use everything. You see, like here, I can get the whole front of an outfit. And this way we feel like it's another aspect to being environmentally conscious. It takes longer, yes, we know as a brand that it takes more time to manipulate the patterns, make sure that we have minimal waste. So we do have discussions as we're laying. So you see right there, we get a piece. Yeah, so we can get a back, we can get the bands, and then we can cut the outfit. And then again, we will keep these pieces for pockets. Yes. For pockets, for bindings, for facings. So each and every bit of the fabric is used. We try and use every inch of the fabric. And it's, again, a collaboration between us, the cutters, to make sure that there's minimal waste. So welcome to our production space. This is where our beautiful clothes are made by our very, very talented team. We're all environmentally conscious, and our clothes are made with great care and love. As much as possible in the production of our clothes, we try and do hand processes and use hand techniques such as hemming, stitching, embroidery. So this is something that we really, really believe in. As a brand, we've never ever used synthetic fabrics, and right now they're doing the silk collection, which requires very delicate hands and to be really, really worked on slowly and with a lot of intention and attention. When we're doing collections, it can take up to a week from the sketching to the cutting to the production, and then we have the finishing. As I mentioned, we do a lot of hand finishing, which does take longer than machine. Natural fabrics are naturally more expensive than synthetics. It's very interesting because we could get the same fabrics much, much, much cheaper, but because of the microplastics and the microfibers, we just don't use any synthetics, including in linings. We just do not. So they are slightly, more expensive than synthetics, but they do last longer. This is an element that I think consumers have to consider when buying their fashion, is how long is it going to last? And fast fashion, this throwaway fashion, ends up in the long run costing you much, much more than buying 1 or 2 classic pieces that really last. We've tried to get our silks in Kenya. Our gown for Buckingham Palace was a Kenyan silk, but we're not getting the amount of fabrics that we need. And we're trying to use all certified fabrics. So we need them to be GOTS certified or Oecotech certified. And we're looking forward to, in the future, buying all our fabrics locally. So inevitably, from the cutting stage, we would end up with a few remnants here and there. So what we do is we turn them into beautiful design elements, which we'll embellish the clothes with. So as you can see, we use each and every element. Some collections will have butterflies, flowers. We do little bags, but we make sure that we do use them. Each element, each remnant that we have. We're moving towards more natural elements instead of sequins and the plastic elements that have been used in the past in fashion. So for the moment, we're still using sequins, which we've had over here for about 30 years. So I'm trying to finish them off, and we're moving towards more earth-friendly elements such as the fish scales to embellish the clothes. We're trying to find all sorts of natural elements where we can, which we can use in our embroideries. They have a beautiful 3D effect, but yet are biodegradable. And here Jane is embroidering a bustier it's a hand-painted, hand-embroidered piece, which lends to its uniqueness, and it makes the garment one of a kind. So what we've done here in this gown is we've got the earth, we've got the sand, we've got the sea, we've got the sky. In all our designs we try and incorporate elements of nature. For us, it's our biggest inspiration as a brand. It is what, our DNA is built on flowers, birds, butterflies. We love all of nature's elements. And I find that it makes for beautiful embellishments. Here we've used scrap leather to design our flowers. And it's just what we find so beautiful in nature, in Kenya and Africa.
Wow, it's amazing just to experience eco-conscious fashion taking shape before our eyes. It's time for a breather. When we get back, we get into a conversation with Deepa Dosaja on her perspective of the industry. Stay tuned.
So obviously I'm Kenyan, born here, grew up in Canada, studied fashion in Canada, and then came home as soon as I had finished my diploma. I started working in fashion straight away. I've never used synthetic fabric. I've always been an environmental designer. It was just in me. I just never ever took to synthetics. And the journey has been wonderful. I've been doing this for 33 years now in Kenya, and the business has grown, and I'm just very happy that we have a great team. And I'm trying to promote the handmade fashion, handmade beautiful fashion that gives back dignity to the artisanal class. And I find now in Kenya we're appreciating art more and more and more, and fashion that's made locally, which really pleases me. I've seen a big change in that. For my 13th birthday, I asked for a sewing machine. So I was stitching for my sisters, and I just loved everything about fashion. I was doing fashion drawing classes, fashion, construction classes at a very young age, and just fell in love with everything fashion. I started off using just linens. My fabric of choice was linen, and we've now graduated to linen. We only use linen, silk, cotton, and wool. So all the natural fabrics, and we try to stay away from fabrics such as all the synthetics. We've never used them. So we use natural fabrics, natural fibers, which can be broken down and biodegrade. I'm totally against synthetic fabrics, in that even people don't understand that even when you wash them, every time you wash them, there are little micro plastics that are going into the water. Now we're finding microplastics in the air. It's everywhere. Our fabrics are totally natural. We're using Oecotec certified fabrics. And I just feel that they're much more, natural fabrics are actually much more durable. If they're taken care of well, they need less washing, which is another thing. We don't promote dry cleaning. So I think, natural fabrics in the long run work out much better for the consumer. It just makes sense that it's healthy, it's fine for the earth, so long as we're not using synthetic dyes. And, we also go as far as to avoid using hardware such as zippers and elastic. We really, really avoid that. And we're looking into alternatives like, natural rubber elastics and things like this. As I mentioned, even in our embellishments, we're looking for natural elements. So it all goes back into the earth. So this is one of the gowns we made to show just how destructive fashion can be on the environment. We've got some messages, some very bold messages saying not biodegradable, plastic, I'm here to stay. And these are the messages that people have to understand. Synthetic fibers are here to stay. We've put labels. I often wonder why fashion brands have to put so many synthetic labels, which again are not biodegradable. We've put zippers, we've put plastic buttons. There are so many elements of fashion that are detrimental to the earth, and they're all portrayed in this gown. So I would say, you know, when people talk about conscious fashion, and I'm so happy that more and more brands are jumping onto this bandwagon, I look at three pillars of conscious fashion, which is the people who make the clothes, the people who wear the clothes, the environment, of course, and then I'm more and more thinking that as designers, we have to produce clothes that are classic. It's just not viable to have trend, because then it becomes throwaway fashion. So I feel as designers, we have a social obligation, an environmental and social obligation to produce clothes that last, clothes that are classic, clothes that can be worn for years, clothes that can be handed down, clothes that can be fixed and, you know, really worn for years and years. So, you know, I always tell people, you know, you can buy one very, very nice piece that lasts you years and years and years. That is much more economical than buying the throwaway fashion, which we're seeing more and more of today, what we call fast fashion. I mean, I gave an example to one of my nieces. She had been buying a lot of fast fashion. When we calculated how much she had actually spent and what she could have bought that is classic and timeless, it works out that fast fashion is much more expensive in the long run. We represented Kenya at the first Commonwealth Fashion Exchange at the Buckingham Palace. And I think that was like the major highlight, to be the designer representing Kenya in environmental fashion. It was, you know, one of our greatest moments. And we made that gown with Kenyan silk. We made it with all the natural elements. We used upcycled elements for the flowers, for everything in the gown. So it was completely natural yet beautiful. Because I feel something very funny about environment. When people think about conscious fashion, you might almost think about Fred Flintstone fashion, you know, something very, you know, one shoulder with a bat, you know, very crude fashion. Whereas I believe it's becoming more and more sophisticated. The fabrics are becoming finer and finer. Conscious fashion is beautiful. And you know, fashion was meant to be beautiful. The beauty only comes out when you're being both socially, environmentally conscious. We were so honored to have Lupita wear our outfit. I mean, for me, she's just an incredible woman, and she represents us Kenyans so beautifully in her art and in her acting and in her endeavors. I think it's very important for public figures to speak up about this and to also promote locally made products that are environmental. And that's the only way that we'll get a voice. Now, this is a gown that we've done to show just what beautiful fashion should entail. It's made with a hand-woven silk, naturally dyed, and we just, through this gown, want to give the message that we cannot put band-aids anymore on the environment. We have to get to the source of the issue. And through this gown, I wanted to show that so many elements are being affected. The soil, the plants, the birds, the butterflies, the bees, the ocean, the sky, everything is being impacted. So let's all get together and create a beautiful, beautiful fashion. And this gown to me represents something beautiful, which is what fashion was meant to be. This dress, we photographed it at the Nairobi River, and we've done it with a campaign of Just Fashion, the Just Fashion campaign, which we're participating in. And it was a gown that was very special to our hearts because we've used, again, like I said, all natural elements. And this is all offcuts. So everything in this gown is reused, upcycled, and hand done. I think it's up to the media to expose the problem and the solutions, because we do have solutions. It's not all doom and gloom, and this is what I like to tell young people. You just have to do your little thing, which is what Wangari Maathai used to say, my little thing. It's something that needs to be exposed, it's something that needs to, and it's through the media, it's through public figures, that we can get Kenyan fashion out there into the world. Well, I think it's like you said, it's to encourage farmers to do cotton growing, silk rearing, and it's just really about agriculture and encouraging the farmer and having a supply. They need to have demand, right? So if there's a demand and more designers say, look, we're going to buy from you, and they know that their crop, their fiber will be bought, I think that'll be the first step. We're opening a shop somewhere very precious. We'll let you know. It'll be out there. And we're working on something which I'm it's very close to my heart. We're doing capsule collection. This collection is going to consist of 10 pieces that every woman needs to have in her wardrobe, and all she needs, really. Because we are also saying, you know, buy less, buy better. So my message to fashion designers would be, you know, really make sure that each step of the process is conscious. Make sure that it's the people who are making them, you have to take care of them. You have to take care of the women who are wearing them and the men who are wearing them, and the environment. And then what I had said earlier, please produce design that is classic. Produce design that people can wear for years and years and years, and not trend driven. And produce on demand, which is what we do. We will get an order, then we will produce it. My message to fashion consumers is, please make sure you know who is making your clothes, where they're being made, because I always say to people that, you know, that the energy that goes into making clothes, it goes to you. You know, the person who's making your clothes, if they're unhappy, if they're in a sweatshop, if they're being mistreated, it will go into your clothing. The energy is there. As Kenyans, we're already so environmentally advanced worldwide that let's take it a further step and embrace the fact that fashion is the second biggest polluter in the world, and really choose our products consciously and you know, investigate them, know them, and you know, have fashion as one of the pillars of sustainability in your life. All my social media is Deepa Dosaja. People can reach me on deepadosaja.com.
Through Deepa Dosaja's exploration of sustainable fashion, we are reminded of the power that we hold in making a difference for our world. Tune in next time and let's continue our quest in shaping the future we want. This has been Eco Solutions. Until then, keep making a difference.